Huh. You know, it's been a while since I last been here. Hello everybody, my name is Shenko and welcome back to the Minecraft Survival Series, episode 39. I hope you all are well. You might be wondering, where are we and why are we away from the castle for this current episode? Well, I'm glad you asked. Welcome to my Guardian farm. I actually built this all the way back when I first started the world in 2021. I actually built this before I started the Minecraft Survival Series. This was built in the year 2022. And since then, it has stayed like this for the longest time. But yes, this is my Guardian farm. This is where I get all the prismarine materials that I need to build all the different buildings around my survival world. And since then, it has been like this for the longest time. Now, how this works is that that's the AFK spot all the way up there. And I basically just stand in the box in the middle of nowhere. All the Guardians spawn and they fall down that tube. So if I go all the way down to the collecting area, where all the Guardians should be dying, yep, we will be gathering a lot of prismarine shards, prismarine crystals, and a lot of raw cod here and there. For the longest time, this has stayed like this, and I think it's time for a little bit of a makeover of this room. Now you might be asking yourself, why did we decide to do it right now? Well, because I'm moving the castle work onto live streams on Twitch, and so I wanted a little bit of a filler video just so we can go around the world and touch up on things that we haven't touched in quite some time. And first off, I'm going to start with the Guardian farm, which has been a while since I last touched it, but I think a sorting system would be quite beneficial to this area. So first thing to do is to get out our redstone box. We got all the materials that we need. We got hoppers, we got redstone comparators, repeaters, and redstone. All we need to do is clear the space, decorate it a little bit, and put in our sorting system so that we can sort through all the items that come through from the Guardians. Let's do this. Right, so progress update. It is looking a little bit nicer in the killing chamber, as you can see, with all the Guardians falling from the chamber above down onto the killing floor. And we now have a sorting system all built up and utilized. We are now separating all the different drops that we can get from a Guardian farm. We have the prismarine shards, the prismarine crystals, the raw cod, and some salmon and some bone meal just in case. This is the trash bin, so to speak. Now, when I was building this sorting system, I noticed something. We have an obscenely large amount of prismarine crystals, and the problem with that is prismarine crystals are only really used for one crafting purpose: to craft up sea lanterns. Now, I do not wish for all these prismarine crystals to go to waste. I need to put them somewhere. And that is why I have been creating, to the other side, these things. Now, I sort of forgot about the crafter that was added in 1.21, but ever since I've been going back to my old farms and cleaning them up, making them much more updated to how I want to sort out these items, crafters are actually really useful. This one right now creates prismarine bricks. So if I grab, let's say, some prismarine shards, put them into this barrel, eventually, yep, it crafts up some prismarine bricks. So that should be fine. There'll be another one that will be making prismarine blocks like these, but this one, I'm going to turn it into a sea lantern crafting station. So we'll break out the wall first, and I've already started with the concept I want to use, which is the observer method. Let's craft up 2 hoppers. Now these 2 hoppers are going to go into the crafter like so, and then you got the barrel going into it like so. The sticky piston down here, observer right here, and that should be fine. So we're gonna make a T flip-flop where the copper bulb will come out of a comparator. That will then go into this piston right here. So we can obviously just wire it up like so. If we press this button right here. Okay, it is working. So we can tell it when to stop and when to continue. What I need to do first is to actually get the crafting shape correct. So we'll just do something like this. There we go. There's a sea lantern. And what we can do is that we can put the crystals here, and we can put the shards here. In the meanwhile, I can do the tedious task of moving a large quantity of crystals into this barrel so that we don't have to go back and forth. And we can free up a lot of space in the sorting system. So right here in this chest, if I ever need sea lanterns, just give it a moment. There we go, we almost have a stack of sea lanterns. Wonderful. This is great, this is really fun. I really love the crafter, it makes things so convenient. And it gives this room a little bit more of a purpose. Now, not only are we able to grab the materials for the blocks, we can also make the blocks. And we can also have a surplus of them where we just craft them over here in the killing chamber of the farm. Now, to build the automatic one, we have done that before in the iron farm when we were trying to combine the iron ingots into iron blocks. I'll leave a link to whatever episode that was. I believe that was episode 20. I think it was episode 20. So what's going to happen is that the redstone source from the crafter is going to be detected by this comparator right here. And what it's going to do is that it will have that signal. It will be in minus form because there will be another comparator right here drawing power from a composter. A fully filled composter has a redstone level of 8 and minus off with how many slots are filled in the crafter. Once the crafter is at a redstone power of 9, 9 minus 8 equals 1, that power would then be moved into a redstone dust particle right down here. And through quasi-connectivity, it will pass that redstone signal down through this repeater into the crafter and it will craft the block. I hope I explained that as best as I can, because you can actually apply this to many different crafting recipes in Minecraft. Gold blocks, iron blocks, diamond blocks, even bone blocks, and even prismarine all around us. Fantastic. So all in all, we have a section that can craft up sea lanterns, we have a section that can craft up prismarine blocks, and we have a section that can craft prismarine bricks. I'd say I did a pretty good job in spring cleaning the prismarine farm that I built 3 years ago. Gosh, it's been so long since I actually upgraded any of this. Hey, I have a bed here as well. Now, even though that has been sorted, there is now an even bigger problem. And that is dealing with the amount of raw cod that we have in surplus. It's filling up all these chests. I really need to clear them out. So after a bit of time, we have finally managed to finish up everything else. Ow. As you can see, more guardians are falling down. We managed to clear up quite a lot of the raw cod that we have, even though there are even more that's in the backlogs that's flowing into these two double chests. But, you know, at the very least, we'll be able to clear that up with the villager trading as well. And hey, we got even more blocks right here. Sea lanterns, prismarine, and prismarine bricks. Fantastic. I'm actually going to use this bed to sleep right here because I want to explain what we're actually doing here. See, the AFK platform for the Guardian farm is all the way up there, and it gave me a little bit of an idea. I have not built a resin farm here in the survival world, and possibly building the resin farm above will help me farm two materials at the same time, which will honestly be very cool and very efficient. So that's exactly what we're going to be engaging in. Let's first get up onto the AFK spot. Alright. So, I believe we are currently... Oh, great. It's raining. Alright. Brilliant. So, I believe we are about... I think about a stack high up from that area, which is not too bad. Now, I do have materials if I go through my ender chest. Right, so first things first, I'm gonna need a platform for all this to happen on. So we're gonna grab some acacia logs. And we're going to turn some of those into slabs. Just so we can prevent any creaking spawning around us. Right, let's get started then, shall we? First off, we're gonna have to plan out where exactly they're gonna drop. So I feel like they're gonna drop right here. And so we need to build 3 up like so. And then we surround them with bottom slabs like so. Okay, so we'll place blocks like so. And then we're going to have to turn this into some sort of platform. Right. Sign right there. Ah. And sign right there. Now put the water down there. And then another bucket of water can go down here. There we go. So I'm thinking that at the very least this area could be our safe haven. So obviously that's going to be right here. And then these walls are going to be built up like so, because this is where the creaking are going to run over to fall into those chambers. Okay, so now that that is at the very least done, we can dip into our redstone box real quick. And we can grab our pistons, because this is where we're going to get technical. So we put 1 block here like this, and then we place pistons like so. And then what I'll do is I need to make some more, not that, make some more creaking hearts. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think that should be fine, because 12 is the maximum amount of blocks that a piston can push. And so here I'm gonna put in the creaking hearts. Okay, so as you can see, the heart isn't active yet, but that's fine. We do not want it to be active now, especially when we're building the farm. The next step includes me going all the way up here, putting a leaf block right here, putting an observer facing down, and then a bit of redstone, and then the pistons can go facing down like so. Like that, that, oh, no, like that. There we go. Fantastic. So what this is going to do is that when the piston pushes these logs all the way up, the leaf block will then be attached to the log block. And so it will detect a change in the leaf block. The observer will detect a change in the leaf block, and it will push the pistons down, which would effectively shake off all the resin that's attached to these log blocks. We're gonna put a note block down like this, and then if I pillar up a little bit, grab that, and then from... That's not what I want to happen. There we go. Okay, that works. Fantastic, that works. Okay, now, we're thinking with redstone right here. We are now gonna have to design the collection system that is going to wrap around all these different chambers down here. Actually, you know what? This can stay here for now. I actually want to go on and build the ether hopper clock first before we move on with the collecting system, because I feel like that is a much more responsible thing to do. Alright, so for those who don't know, an ether hopper clock works like this. You have two hoppers facing into each other. You have two comparators that compare the contents of that hopper. You have one piece of redstone on each side, and then you have a block of redstone over here. Right, so the farm is pretty much complete. Now all we need to do is activate the creaking hearts. But before we do that, we do need to encase this entire block of logs, so that when the resin falls from the logs, it would just go straight in and not all over this platform right here. Let's see, did I bring some glass? I did bring glass. I got a whole bunch of orange glass. Now you might be wondering, why am I building this version of the farm instead of the usual one where you could just build it on the ground? Well, the thing is that if I'm up here farming resin, I could also be down there farming all the prismarine. So we're basically killing two birds with one stone. Okay, now the last thing we can do in order to prep this farm is to obviously activate the creaking hearts. And we are gonna do exactly that by doing this. There we go, we get the advancement, heart transplanter. So all these creaking hearts should be active right now. And we're gonna get rid of the scaffolding because as of right now, this farm is currently active. This farm is currently active, and when night comes, the creaking will spawn and fall into the hole, to the killing chamber. I am curious to see how much prismarine we collected while we were up there building the farm. Okay, I think we might have overloaded the system. Oh no. Oh no, we overloaded the system. Right, we're gonna need to build. We're gonna need to. Maybe it'd be worth us upgrading the storage a little bit. Maybe we might need to go a little bit lower. Let me just go in and pick up all the items. Oh, dear me. Ah, yeah. These hoppers are gonna need some spring cleaning. That's why. That's why they weren't moving. Okay, at the very least, we're getting a good stream of prismarine blocks flowing into the system. Other than that, I need to boogie my way up there. You know what? These are good problems to have. Not bad problems, these are good problems to have. Ain't that right, llama? Yeah, he's judging me. He's really judging me. I'm not good with farms. Let's head on up and see if this farm really works. Oh, I hear them. So now, turn on the ether hopper clock, and look at that. Two of them already fell into the system. There should be more. There should be more up. Oh. Hello. Oh, you're just gonna fall down. Alright. Fall down into the system. So now we have all the creaking here. We can just do... There we go. Look at that. I'm hearing all the resin. Give me all your resin. So we can basically just stand down here and farm these as long as we want. Or as long as the night stands. So I put up my free cam so you could get a better understanding of what's going on. As I'm hitting all those creaking with my greatsword, all the resin is being formed on those log blocks. And every so often, give it a bit of time. There we go. Look at all the resin falling down. Absolutely stunning. And as the moon sets and the sun rises, these guys are gonna despawn sometime soon. But we'll check in the chest to see how much resin we have collected over this one night. Oh, there they go. They all disappeared. Well, now I can fully turn off the ether hopper clock. Resin should all make its way down, and we can see after a night we have collected A lot of resin. Wow, okay. We actually collected up a whole bunch of resin. So I'd say we did a pretty good job building up this resin farm. I now have a way to farm all this resin. Hi, so you might be wondering what am I doing back here on the East Asian island? Well, I needed a whole bunch of smelting done. Because after a whole bunch of time spent at the resin farm, I decided to take all that resin and make a whole bunch of resin bricks. Look at all them flowing in, look at that. We still got a lot to go through, and I think we're at the end of that previous lava bucket. So I think the empty buckets would be going into the chest anytime soon. But yes, I just needed the auto smelter to smelt up a ton of resin and turn those into resin bricks. Because the texture for resin bricks is actually pretty cool. So if we combine 4 of them together, we get resin bricks. And these are very bright. I was thinking of possibly using them in a build. And so that's why I'm collecting a whole bunch of resin bricks. I do have some more blocks of resin, but I think I can survive on them just fine. Because the recipe for resin brick blocks doesn't take 9, it takes 4. So I think we should be fine with this many resin bricks. If not, we can always make more, which is not that big of an issue. Now, before I explain what I want to build in this episode, I might as well come down here, because if you remember when we last left off, we were getting a lot of items being stuck in the kill chamber for our guardian farm. Now, I since fixed that because, oh my goodness, that's so loud! But yeah, I managed to fix the item backlog because the way the hoppers were set up initially, the items were being, yeah, right there. It wasn't that efficient the way the hoppers were being lined up, and so you end up with items just sticking out like that when the hopper gets full. Let me just grab that and just throw it to another, and you see that disappears. And now it is much more efficient at delivering all the items into the selected sorting compartments. Sometimes, when you work on a project for a little bit too long, you need a bit of time away from that project. And that's why what I want to build in this episode is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be away from the castle. I'm not going to be working on the castle today because I'm going to be doing that in live stream. So right over here, I have something planned in mind because I want to test something with the new resin blocks. Well, not necessarily new, but I now have access to them, so it means that I could probably use them. And we've come to the industrial district where I use a lot of very unique blocks, ones that I don't necessarily use all that often. So if we get out our ender chest, we have a whole bunch of materials right here, and I want to test something. Now this is all just the interior, so we don't have to necessarily mark out the corners, and we'll probably put an exterior on the outside. So as I'm actually recording this, we are, I think, about 4 days away from Halloween, and I never really built anything for Halloween, or at least Halloween-like. So I thought, why not take the opportunity to build something for Halloween? And I think you can all guess what I'm trying to do here. But first, I need to try it out. See if it works. Now it doesn't look too bad so far, but it's just a ceiling and some walls. Maybe I should add the floor. You might have a good idea on what I'm trying to work with here, but if you don't know, we'll move on with the build and you start to get everything later down the line. So I'd say we have a plan. Although, we do need to fix in some lights. I got an idea. Yeah, you know what? I actually like what we're doing here. Alright, let's carry on. And I need to sleep. And I feel like this is going to be pretty good in order to refresh my mind in building other things. Let's say, don't have to be building medieval all the time. You have to make sure that you are still on your building game when it comes to other types of builds. You know, I thought I saw it all when in Channel 64 you have Paul's Fried Chicken. Shout out to Paul Tales, go check him out, an amazing creator. But I thought I saw it all when it came to food establishments in Minecraft, and you know what? I think Paul was up to something, because here I am, trying something of my own. And after a bit of time, we have made significant progress on this build thus far. And honestly, I'm liking it. It actually looks really nice. I am really happy with how everything is turning out to be. I really like the light design, definitely keeping it slightly darker while still not allowing mobs to spawn, which is nice. We got some vents going into this room in particular. I wonder what this is going to be for. I guess you all will have to watch to the end of the video to find out what we're actually building. But for now, we still have a lot more progress that needs to be made. So it took a hot minute, but we now have sort of the baseline of what this building is going to look like. So it took a hot minute, but we finally have the exterior built as well. Well, kind of. It definitely looks like an abandoned building, gray on gray with just a little bit of texturing, but that's sort of what I'm going for. Eventually I will paint up the walls, maybe make it a little bit less broken down, but right now it is coming together really nicely. Now when we come into the building itself, you would see the inspiration that I had for this entire complex. Yes, my friends, for Halloween I decided to go with something a little bit similar to the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. And that's why I took inspiration in creating an abandoned pizza place. So that's why the walls are a little bit crumbled down. You got the stage where the animatronics would be, a few bits of wires hanging out. I have these mini observers that act like cameras so you can sort of see out the entire place. This was my office space where I kept all the shulkers while I was building the entire complex, and right now I have a few chests lying about and a few of the remnants from my building. As we move out of the dining place, you would see the bathrooms over these two ends right here. You have the kitchen, staff only access, which comes into the kitchen. I do need to furnish this kitchen a little bit more. And this door back here brings us to the dumpster place, where I've installed a few trash bins with some pale moss, and you can actually come in between and empty out the trash bins. And yes, you can throw stuff in here. If I just empty out this bundle. Outside of here, in this hallway, you got one room right here. You got two identical rooms for private parties of some sort. And you got the security desk right here overlooking this large hallway. You can sit here and act as a lonely security guard. I couldn't find a fan, so this piston is basically the fan, although it doesn't really make the fan noise. I need to find a way to actually do that. So I based this whole complex off of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 because it has the vents on both sides, and you can press this button to turn on the light to see what's inside the vents. And I'd say the use of resin bricks really brings out the color in this place. It serves as a nice contrast from all the grays, the blacks, and the whites, and it's just a nice color to look at. So I built all this for Halloween, but I currently do not have a Halloween costume. Which, yes, it is a little bit weird. I should probably have prepared something, but I don't actually have one. I mean, it's not like there are any secret rooms in this place. I mean, I've already discovered all the rooms. The floor is looking a little bit weird, so maybe we can clear that up. And I don't know, maybe in the future we'll actually tear down these broken walls and actually make something slightly more slightly more clean. Huh. There is a secret room here with a suit of some sort. I mean, it is Halloween after all. What's the worst that can happen? Alright, just gotta make sure that I wear this just fine. There we go. Feels a little bit weird, but I think it should be fine. Alright, the suit doesn't feel too bad. I mean, the fact that it's been locked away for quite some time, I'm surprised it's still very comfortable. Alright, time to put on the headpiece. Alright, doesn't look too bad. Does feel kind of comfortable. I mean, the fact that it's been hidden for so long, I can't believe it actually still works as well. I wonder what this lever does. Hello? Hello? If you're hearing this, you made a really poor career choice. And the animatronic in there tends to get kind of bloodthirsty, especially at this time of year. Yeah, I'd be very careful if I were you. I'll be thinking. Alright, have a good one. Did I scare you? Yeah, I bet. I'm not that good at this scaring stuff, but... Well, hello and welcome to my office. That is right. I've decided to bring this costume back. Do you like it? I hope you do, because this is a pumpkin, and I had a lot of fun modeling this. I would really like to take this mask off. Unfortunately, it is stuck to my head, and I can't take it off and show you my skull. I don't think it will work that well. But honestly, with the new movie coming out, I'm glad I actually built all this. This is actually really nice. I love how this all turned out. Even though I need to install more of the furniture around here, it's already starting to look really nice. And the ambience of it raining outside really fits in with the abandoned pizza place that I was going for right here. I do intend on installing a lot more furniture around here, doing a bit more interior work, especially with 1.21.9 introducing the shelves. I think it will work really nice in this place. And to be fair, it's a good thing that I built this because not only is this relevant for now, Halloween, but also in December when the new movie comes out. But what do you think of the abandoned pizza place that we built here thus far? Let me know in the comments below, and whether you like my costume. And I really enjoyed modeling the mask, block benches, absolutely fantastic. But with that being said, that's going to be it for episode 39 of the Minecraft Survival series. I really hope you all enjoyed this video, and I wish you all a very happy Halloween. Do go out there and have an amazing night of frights. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to follow along the journey with me. My name is Shenko. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Take care of yourselves, be nice to one another, and I will see you in the next video. And enjoy the night of frights.
I always come back.
See you all next time.